What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Sunday. I popped in on y'all on a Sunday, man. I popped in on y'all on a Sunday. I'm not acting like that's no big deal or nothing. But let's get it on, man. Let's get it on. Let's see what's on the minds of y'all and on the minds of some people throughout the world. Uh, I always keep y'all in mind when I have things on my mind. So I would like to open the topic. I started to come with a topic today, but then I changed my mind at the last second, and I'll do that video separately as one of my shorter videos. But this one here, we'll do an open topic tonight. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the like button on your way in, and hopefully I can keep my like. I'll earn the like and keep the like. So, what else was I about to say? But yeah, but that's what it is. Click the like button on the way in. That's a thumbs up icon. Share these videos if you feel like I said something that needs to be heard by somebody who may not be in the room with us right now. And what we do here is educate and get educated. We teach and get taught. We learn and we try to be vessels that other people can learn from. This is open topic, which means any questions y'all might have, feel free to ask. Everything is done under the umbrella of respect and maturity. Anything disrespectful is out of there. Anything silly and immature, you out of there. So let's get it in, man. I see we coming in the door. The doors of the club are open, so I see y'all coming in. Let's get right to it. Let's see what we got, man. So far, let me see. DeMario starts it off. Says, "What you think about martial law?" Um, I'm not a fan of martial law. Of course, I mean I don't know how anyone would be except for the person who institutes it. For their own reasons. We've been hearing about America slowly driving itself towards that for years. And we're starting to see it in some cases, with the administration that's in office right now. Um, it wouldn't be surprising if at some point we start to see more things that resemble martial law being implemented in certain cities. So I'm not with it. I don't think that there's ever a legitimate, valid reason for it, but it's the time we live in. We are slowly moving into dictatorship. Yep, yep. Connie says you early tonight. Yeah, yeah. I felt like coming to kick it with the family tonight. I wanted to hang out with the family tonight. Well, today it's still daytime. I can't speak for where y'all might be, but it's so daytime where I'm at. Yeah, it's six. It's a little bit after 6 p.m. where I'm at. So yeah, that's daytime for me. All right, but my energy and how long I'll be here depends on y'all's energy. So we'll see. We'll see. We're off to a slow start so far. Shaheem, I see you. Shaheem the Dream. No relation to a king. All right. Okay. Well, I guess while we kind of quiet, I'll do a couple of plugs. The Underground Dialogue podcast. I need y'all to subscribe to that channel too if some of y'all haven't already. If you're new. If you already subscribed to the Underground Dialogue podcast, let me see a show of hands. If you already subscribed to the Underground Dialogue podcast. Just give me a quick show of hands if you are. If you're not, I need you to do that right now as well and check out the latest episode, PSK 13, and all of the past episodes. If you watch 2 a week, you'll catch up in a few weeks, going backwards. We have a little bit over 100 episodes so far in total. Okay, I see a few hands. Not enough though. Okay, y'all need to subscribe to the channel. There's only like 3 people on here that subscribe to the Underground Dialogue. That's not acceptable, especially when we got a lot of regulars, a lot of OGs in this chat. I'm only seeing like 4 people that say they'll subscribe to the podcast channel. Like, come on, man. We got to fix that. I can't pronounce your name right, brother. I'm going to do my best. Is that Ketakule? Ketakule? Says, big brother K-Rino, thanks for helping me see life different than before and find a purpose. I discovered you in 2022 when I was 16 years old now. Man, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much, man. Still a young man. Still got a lot of life ahead of you, man. I thank God that something I said may have been the catalyst to help get you on a good road. Don't give me the credit. Give God the credit for whatever He put in me, and however you found me. Thank God for it. This random rubber band come from. Just found a random rubber band. Have no idea how this rubber band got here. I will pop. Y'all, one of y'all say something. One of y'all say something. I will pop right across your forehead. Well, y'all know these things were lethal. These things were lethal. Boy, somebody get a good pull on one of these things and bop. Ooh, boy, that's a fight right there, man. That is a fight. Yeah. MC Josiah is in the building, man. Appreciate the donation. Thank you so much, as always. You getting an open mic tonight? I see you. I'm not going to wish you luck. Luck ain't got nothing to do with it. I wish you success. And success is based on your preparation. Success is based on your confidence. Success is based on your talent and the material that you put together. You put all those things together, your drive, your determination, that's when you have a good outing. So keep doing your thing. Yeah. L says we all see different, G, communicate differently. Spencer, what's up? I was wondering, what's the difference if the earth is flat or round? Is water better on a flat earth? Nah, and I know what you're saying. I said at the end of that song that we have greater things that we need to be concerned about than whether the earth is flat or not. But we still have to operate on truth. And one of the issues I always had when I would have conversations with flat earthers in the early days of the flat earth movement, well, the rebirth of the flat earth. In the early days, people would hit me up, and I think I told you all this before. people will hit me up and act like the earth being flat or the conversation about the earth being flat was like the most important thing in the freaking universe. Like it was just like, this information has to be out. It's life or death. It's like, and I'm like, man, relax, dude. Relax. I'm not a flat earth. I don't believe the earth is flat at all. But for the sake of just being in a conversation, you can't tell me that this topic is like the end all be all of all topics of life. And that's how they used to come. Maybe they don't act like that no more. They've deceived us all, and we got to get out of here. We got to, man. I'm gonna go to the grocery store, man. You want something back? Relax. That was my thing. Yeah. Zink says you're gonna need about 100 of those to give me a concussion. Not when I was in middle school. I don't. Yeah, man. I mean, we used to do some real cruel stuff back in school, man. Back when we was young, man. Y'all ever used to walk up to somebody and slap them on the back of the neck? That look. Y'all ain't used to do that. Y'all ain't grow up in the hood. There'd be some cruel activities, man. Some cruel things used to happen, man. Shaheem says, what do you think about people saying George Floyd wasn't a hero? And do you think he was a hero? Well, I've never viewed George Floyd as a hero. See, that term comes from racist people when they tried to vilify George Floyd, and because other people, particularly black people, are screaming justice for him, screaming out for justice. When black people were protesting and all over the world, when people were protesting, black, white, every race protesting all around the world on behalf of justice for George Floyd, racist people got mad and were saying, with their uplifting or upholding this guy as if he's some kind of hero. That's where that came from. But nobody made a claim that George Floyd was a hero. He was a victim of racist police brutality. That's what he was. He was a victim of racist police brutality. And because so much attention came from his murder, it made people who don't like the fact that people stand up against racism, it made them say, well, y'all looking at him like he's some type of hero. So the media turns around and does what media does. They turn and spin the narrative to try to look for any negativity that may existed in George Floyd's life before he was murdered, as if whatever negativity he carried out justifies him being murdered by a racist cop named Derek Chauvin, or whatever his name is. See, so that's where that comes from. George Floyd was a regular black man, just like me or you, anybody else who might be a regular black man. He was unjustly murdered by a racist cop and other police who stood around and let it happen. Plain and simple. It's a good question. Boba and Shy, wish I had a dad as wise as you when I was growing. Well, I mean, what the thing is, brother, you did. You did. And you still do. God is our Father in the absence of a biological. But we got to seek him out. You know, sometimes people get a head start and they get a good dad growing up, And that's a blessing for those who did, but for those who didn't, the road might be a little tougher. Might have to learn things a little differently in a tougher way. But if you find God, whether you're young or older, then you know who your father is, because all wisdom comes from the creator. And whatever your biological may have instilled in you, if had he been around, if he wasn't, that still comes from the creator. And sometimes if we're blessed enough, we can find a father figure in other people. Some people don't, but God is the one and only constant. So he's there even now, but I understand where you're coming from. It's like when you're thinking about being 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 years old, 15, 18, there's wisdom guidance that you might have needed, fatherly guidance that you may have needed. I understand that. But even those of us who people consider to be wise, we still trying to figure it out. We still trying to learn. We still trying to wrap our minds around this thing and navigate through this thing in a way that works out for us. So, a lot of wisdom comes from trial and error, comes from bumping your head. There are a lot of things that I know, not because I was just uh, had a lot of wisdom bestowed upon me or sprinkled down upon me. It was just because, oh man, I messed up. So now I know, now I understand. And so when you mess up and now you get through the mess up and you're able to tell other people moving forward to give that advice, you're basing that on experience. They look at it as, oh, he's so wise. He might be, she might be, but a lot of that comes from, I know this because I messed up. Now I'm trying to keep you from messing up. I appreciate the love. Let me see. Shout out to, is that Yami or Yami? Yami? Appreciate the love. Thank you for the donation. I'm gonna say your name 3 or 4 different ways to make sure I got it. I know it's either Yami or Yami, Yami, whatever it is. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the love. Yep, yep. Open topic, y'all. Erica Mendez says he was human and mattered. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just like Breonna Taylor, just like Tamir Rice, just like um, Eric Garner, just like Walter Scott, Sandra Bland, and all those before, after. Yeah. 6R says fully innocent of the outcome. Absolutely. Absolutely. They killed him and they tried to kill him. Wasn't Floyd Mayweather a drug addict going like 200 miles per hour? I don't have no idea about that. No, I don't think Floyd was a drug. Floyd Mayweather's not a drug addict, to my knowledge. No. Yami says hate racism. Love is the way. Absolutely. Erica says Martin Luther King said, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Yeah, so many people turn a blind eye for whatever reason, either out of fear that it might happen to them if they speak out against it, out of fear that they may lose position. See, because what happens is when you have these situations where these racist cops kill innocent black people, it's always other police officers around. And unless they all just in that same hateful mindset, it's going to be one or two. It should be one or two that's like, man, this is messed up. And if you feel like, man, this is messed up, and you don't say nothing or stop it or try to stop it, then you are complicit. You're part of it. And I've seen situations where police officers and ex-police officers have said, well, man, we couldn't really, well, we didn't say nothing because, you know, the whole police force would have come down. It'd have been tough on us. And man, sometimes, man, you got to fight that fight. That's why, like Erica just said, she mentioned Martin Luther King. The people who are remembered as great leaders and great freedom fighters, they understood that taking that step and taking that position that they took was going to create a lot of enemies for them. And in some cases, those enemies consisted of the most powerful government in the world. And they still took on that fight because many of them believed in a God that would back them and just had a love for their people and a love for freedom, justice, and equality. So when you sit back and get all hush mouth, knowing good and well this is wrong and it's on your watch or part of your watch, you ain't qualified to hold the position. Is that Kept the Kool-Aid says, did the Japanese manga inspire you to create your own comics? No. Um, I had always wanted to do comic books, regular books. I'm getting ready to do a children's book. But Dollar Bill, who might be in here before this live is over with, uh, he produced a song for me. That song turned out to become the Galactic Quest for the Mystic 10 volumes. And you know, a lot of my sci-fi story raps, they could easily be movies, comic books, cartoons, whatever. Sci-fi novels, you know, they could be that. So when he approached me with the idea of turning that into a comic book, it was like, yeah, let's do it. So that's what that was about. I'm not familiar with manga. Oh, and no, Bo. Well, see, here's the thing. That's why I was saying about the media. When you say George Floyd, was he a drug? It wouldn't matter. It doesn't matter. See, because if that's what we're asking, it leads to the thought of wondering, does that justify him being murdered? Because that's what the media tries to do. They'll pull up things from a person's past, which everybody got a past, and some people's past may be a little more shaky than others, but it don't matter what your past was. If you went to jail 4 times and you stole a car, you was on drugs, but this particular day you just happen to be walking down the street minding your business, or let's say, for example, you were doing something, uh, you stole a piece of candy, and they caught you for the piece of candy. The punishment don't fit the crime. So we should never get into this mode where we start mentioning a person's negative past when an injustice is carried out against him, because again, that speaks to the mind of saying, well, that's what he get. He was a drug addict. He was a drug dealer. It has nothing to do with that day. Lock a man up for the crime he committed, punish or sentence him based on the crime they committed. I'm not even speaking about George Floyd. I'm saying in general. But that's what the media does, and not just to George Floyd. They did it to everybody. Every black person that gets unjustly murdered, they try to find something in their past to deflect off of what they did, because they know a lot of people are gonna go, "Oh well, he was a criminal. He got what he deserved." Dirty, evil media, dirty, evil police departments, dirty, evil judicial system, dirty, evil government. Come on, 6R, you got to pronounce the title right, man. It's not fiber optics, it was audio optics. Audio optics, man. Zig says there has to be a standard, and Jesus Christ is that. I agree. Regional Sky Girl. Peace and blessings all, and happy holy day of atonement. I pray that everyone here is in the best of health, spirit, and sanity. We appreciate you, Queen, and I pray the same blessing for you. Happy holy day of atonement to you. And again, as I said, Friday, for those who didn't know, happy holy day of atonement. The holy day of atonement is in observance of the anniversary of the Million Man March, which was and is the Day of Atonement, the Holy Day of Atonement. 30 years ago, a couple of days back, October the 16th, made the 30th anniversary, and I covered a lot of, what the march was about and some of my personal journey, no question about it. All praise is due to Allah. Pac Dillon. Take down my email address, Pac Dillon. Serious inquiries only. If you're ready to work, if you send me this message, that means you're ready to work. I will just email me when we get off of here, and let me know what your budget is. I work with all budgets, man. But let me know if it makes sense. Then we're gonna work. It's on you. It ain't on me. We gonna work. Just come correct, and we gonna work. I appreciate you reaching out. Yep. Kurt Johnson says, "I see the open topics are still going strong." Where you been? You must have left us for a while, Kurt. What you mean? Where you been? You got to have a real good excuse for not coming around for a while, man. That means you were familiar, and then you disappeared for a while. But yeah, we still on it, man. This is a family. My community is a small, close knit family, a community. Yep. Dark Myth says, "I've been experiencing time difference and time cut to a fro or to and fro wherever I'm traveling. I notice the shifts. The Most High is great." Joseph Maine says, much love, big brother K-Rino. Toronto loves you. Man, I love Toronto too. Had a great time. Been out there a couple of times. Did you come to the first meet and greet that we did in Toronto? Were you there, Joseph? Were you there anytime I came to Toronto? First time I came, I think in 2023, we did a real cool meet and greet at this old school record shop. It was dope. Yeah. 6R says your self-control is cool. I'd be nervous, like take two. Nervous about what? What would you be nervous about, 6R? Shaheem says we need SPC Greek on the Underground Dialogue podcast. He's one of my favorite members. I talked to him. I just got off the phone with him a couple of hours ago. I'm gonna make sure that I tell him that you said that. I'm gonna make sure that I let him know. Demario McKellen said I was at Houston's airport. I guess they need help, so they hiring anybody. Somebody came in their pajamas and got hired. Man, yeah, they must be hiring anybody. It's all good. You can show up in pajamas. It takes a lot of nerve to show up for a job interview in pajamas, but that don't make you no less qualified because somebody can show up in a suit and be an idiot. I wouldn't recommend you showing up to get a job in your pajamas. Tight Flow says, when is the next album coming? Late November. That's the title of it, Tight Flows. It's called The Industry. The End Us Tree. Yep. Tight Flows, do this. Because if you're asking me that, that means you must not have been coming on here regular. I just put my email address down there. Send me an email. I'll put you on a contact list so you can pre-order. And contact list for the comic book to pre-order, which is going to be taking pre-orders for the comic book starting next week. Is that you create X? You Creator X? No doubt. It's more likes than people in here right now. What's up, Jason Brody? What's up, Rush? Rush said, did you do research on the Khazarian Jews like we discussed? No, I know that was a while back, but I know a little bit. I know a little bit, but I'm familiar with the Khazarian Jews because I was doing some studying a while back, years back, trying to the difference between Khazarian, Ashkenazi, and others, Sephardic, but I didn't dive deep. I'm glad you put that back on my mind, though. Ray said, I think it would be awesome seeing Immortal Technique on the Underground. Yeah, man, if he ever come back to Houston, I'm going to try to wrangle him in. No doubt about it. Well, see, that's the thing. Boba, you said you saw the footage of George Floyd and he looked and acted like someone on drugs and overdosing. No, he looked and acted like somebody that was being murdered in broad daylight. How can you look like you're overdosing when a guy has you pinned to the ground with his knee on your neck, restricting your airflow? He was screaming, crying out for help. How are you overdosing while you're being murdered? If you saw the footage, the guy has him subdued, hands behind his back, laying on the stomach, and has his knee on his neck, and he can't breathe. How would you act in that situation? How would anybody act if they couldn't free themselves and if somebody walked up to you right now and put both hands around your neck and your hands were free, you could fight them off from restricting your airflow. If you were on the ground and somebody put that knee on your neck and restricting your airflow, your hands were free, you could wrestle your way out or try to. When you are cuffed and now somebody has their knee on your neck and you can't breathe or on your back, or they have you in one of those Krav Maga type of positions, panic will set in because you have no means of defending yourself. You like, this is really happening. Like, my air is being taken. I can't literally breathe, and I have no means of fighting this person off, and nobody's helping me. That's panic. So if you saw the video, you saw a cop killing George Floyd. If all you saw was somebody overdosing, how did you see that but not see this police officer killing this man right in front of everybody? And why do you have to have your knee restricting the airflow of somebody who's already subdued and cuffed? Why do you even have to have your knee on him anywhere? What sense does that make? Why not just say, okay, we got him. Let's put him in the car, take him to jail. Why do you have to continue to press down and keep your knee on him? I'll answer that question. It's because they were murdering him. Come on, y'all. We got to be sharper than that. Phantom Face Final is in the building. My brother. Kurt Johnson says, bless those that fight that fight. Man. Type flows. Man, you got 6 hours worth. I got 6 hours worth of music. Wow. I got 6 hours worth of music. That's a lot, man. I'm just joking. I know I got more than that. Erica says, if they don't like you, they will find a reason to justify the injustices. Come on. Without a doubt. Because while they know that the people are dumb, they also know that the people ain't stupid. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is they can't just say anything when they do something like murder somebody unjustly. So because they know the people ain't stupid. So they got to say something because they know that the people are dumb enough to take something and say, oh, okay, well, I guess it made sense why they killed him. He robbed a store in 1995. Because that's the first thing they do. They try to pull up criminal background and things of that nature. Oh, he punched his girlfriend one time. He had a domestic violence situation. None of these things are right, but they're not connected. So the people ain't stupid, but the people are dumb because they run the same play. Oh, everybody who ever plays sports that may be in this chat, it's nothing more infuriating to a coach or to a fan that's watching the game than to see the other team run the same play over and over again, and it keeps working. Because you're watching it, the people who know he's watching it, I'm watching it, you watching it, and we're like, man, they doing the same thing. Y'all can't see that they are doing the same play. They running the same play. Y'all can't see that. That's how it is with media. When they put a spin, they run the same play. They unjustly kill a black person or any person, and then they turn around and try to say, well, in 2008, he was arrested for marijuana possession. In 2015, he went to jail for stealing a car. And they have to set up the blocks to make people say, oh yeah, he deserved to die. He was a criminal. Same play. And we fall for it over and over and over again. Demario says, I found some music with AI turn artist songs into gospel and soul. What do you think about it? I did a whole episode on AI on the Underground Dialogue podcast, one of the early episodes. And yeah, we talked about AI, pros and cons. And then I had my homie Big Cap, Mr. Cap, come on. Hey, that's an episode with Mr. Cap where he does a lot of AI, and we talked about a lot of the pros and cons of AI too. So y'all go check out both those episodes. I'm not a fan of AI converting those old songs into blues, and it's too much power for me. It's too I don't like that. It's entertaining, or wow, they turned. I just heard one other night they turned Tupac California Love into an old soul song from the 60s, I mean from the 50s. Had a picture of Tupac with a conch on his head, with a process on his head. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that. You know, this they have too much power to be able to do that. And one of the things I said even before I even knew the little bit I know about AI now was that a couple of things that, you know, they'll be creating artists. They already got an artist just signed a $3 million record deal, and it's not even an artist. It's an AI concoction. But shout out to the person who created the artist, the AI artist. Get that money. Because what they did was that person created an original AI, if I can say that. So, okay, cool. They want to pay you for it. And the song sounded pretty good. But my problem is when you try to take somebody that's already out there, already known. You don't try to make an AI, don't make no AI K-Rino album. And then you put this thing out, some label puts it out, and it's selling, and then but it's a likeness of me. I don't like that. I don't like that. It's not cool. But this is coming to that, and people gonna buy because if it sound good, it's some of y'all on here, man. If they came out with some AI stuff on me, and it was jamming, y'all will be listening to it. Y'all wouldn't go, man, I ain't supporting that. Y'all will be low key like, he sound better than the real K-Rino. Yeah. So said homie did an armed home invasion on a pregnant woman. Okay. Let's say that he did that. I'm not gonna argue with you about that. Let's say he did it. We're talking about George Floyd. Separate, unrelated incident. One question, two questions. Did he get arrested for that? Because if he did it and got arrested, I'm assuming he got arrested for it. That's how it's public knowledge, right? Okay. So if he got arrested for it and did time for it, okay, he did it. He did his time for his crime. Question number two, in a separate setting, does what you mentioned justify police officers murdering him in broad daylight when they already have him subdued? Because that's, again, they run the same play. This is what they do to the people. They put a person's past out. I'm not justifying any wrong activity. I'm saying that one has nothing to do with the other unless you are a person, and that's what I spoke about earlier. You have people that will say he's supposed to die because of that. It's okay for him to be murdered by the police because of whatever he may have done in his past. Nah, no, it's not. Punish him for the crime he committed. If he stole something out there, stole that day, punish him for that. But you don't look at that and go, well, they murdered him. Okay, well, but look at this rap sheet. Oh yeah, they good job, officers. If that's the case, there'd be a whole lot of people were supposed to die. Nobody on here would be supposed to be alive because can't none of us say we ain't never did no wrong. Different levels of wrong and all that. So if you have done wrong, it's people on here that have been to the pen before. It's people on here that have shot people, killed people, robbed people, whatever it is. But a lot of people have changed their life around. So if somebody took you out before you got the chance to change and reform your life, then somebody come along and say, well, yep, that's what he get. But you never knew, they would have never known what you became. And that's the thing. We walk around this bad boy, man. When we see something, when we see the news or read or hear about something, but somebody uh, that may not have been the best example of a person in whatever state they were in their mind, but we instantly turn into angels. Meaning we start judging and calling for their death, and yeah, man, that's what he get. But we never remember in those moments what we might have did. Never forget in those moments what your cousin did that you love, what your son did or your daughter did that you love, what your daddy did or your mama did that you love, that you wouldn't want people to view and vilify them like that. We turn into angels. See? People don't like that, but I'm giving y'all some game. I'm telling y'all some real truth, man. Regardless of what somebody had done, and then especially if they went to prison and served time for it, now it's all right to kill him because that has nothing to do with one, has nothing to do with the other, and people will make it like it does. So I saw the racists; they came out. Well, George Floyd was a criminal. Yeah, your government is a criminal, full of them. The police force is full of criminals. The court system full of criminals, from the prosecutors to the judge, full of pedophiles, killers. See what I'm saying? We turn into angels because they got the power to execute judgment on people, and other people don't have that power. and you say he was on fentanyl passing out fake money, you can say all that. Does that mean those officers should have killed him? Does that mean that it's okay? So by your logic, it was okay for them to kill him. Because there's a lot of people walking around here that's on fentanyl. A lot of people have counterfeited money, passed out fake money before. A lot of people have done that. So you're mentioning the details of what the media says that he was doing or whatever. You're mentioning that applies to everybody. He ain't the first person to be on fentanyl if he was on it. He's not the first person to pass off a fake bill if he indeed did that. So kill him? I'm still not convinced. What are you saying? And you do also know that they have scientists, I guess that's the best word I can come up with now, that can break down what those specialists, that can break down what that tactic was that Derek Chauvin was using on George Floyd and what it would do to you or anybody else. And it don't have nothing to do with being on fentanyl. But again, by that logic, you and others are saying it's okay to kill him. Or you're playing the logic of that's not what killed him, like they tried to do in court. Clearly, this was one of the times where the court system saw otherwise, because they gave that demon 20 years, which wasn't enough. And I've watched the video. So trust me, I've watched the video. I don't know what it is that y'all are telling me to look for in the video. I saw everything I needed to see. I saw George Floyd murdered by police. That's what I saw. That's the video I saw. What did you see? Did you see him take fentanyl? No, you didn't. Did you see him pass off a fake bill? No, you didn't. So you're going by what somebody told you versus me going by what I saw. See? The media, same play, pick and roll. Stockton and Malone. Come on, man. You create says there are better martyrs. So what is the purpose of saying? So we have a tier. We put victims on a tier right now, and you use the word martyr. I use the word murder. So because a person has a past and he's unjustly murdered, you say, well, they're a better person. Well, they should have murdered a better person. They shouldn't have murdered a person like him. They should have murdered a person like. Or you're saying that what you're really saying is his death should not have caused the kind of uproar that it did. That's really what you're saying. That people are out of pocket for feeling the way they felt. Now, millions of people saw that video that y'all are saying, watch the video. Yeah, that's why it caused what it caused. Y'all are in the minority. Millions of people saw that man murdered and they felt some kind of way about it. That's why they moved out into the streets and did the things they did, protested and did what they did and stood up against it, brought attention to it. And even a jury, which in these cases it's on the bubble whether or not these kind of demons will get convicted. And throughout this whole conversation, I've not heard one of you say anything negative about the officer who killed George Floyd. I wonder why. The victim is turned into the person who is vilified the most. But the murderer is not even mentioned in this conversation except by me. Process that. See? This is the world we live in. Welcome to America. Welcome to America. Nothing that George Floyd may have had on his rap sheet justifies them doing that to him, what they did to him. That's the point that I'm making. That's the point that I'm making. That's the point that y'all seem to be overlooking because, and I understand, there are people who they glad that they killed that black man. I get it. I understand. I understand. I know the mindset. So yeah, I totally get it. But you're not going to convince me and millions of others who saw what we saw. See? We the same people that heard a 911 call come in from George Zimmerman, and the 911 operator told him not to follow Trayvon Martin, and he followed him anyway and killed Trayvon Martin. And guess what they did? He was wearing a hoodie. See? Same play. He was walking down the street at night with a hoodie on. I'm still waiting for somebody to show me the law, the official law that says paragraph 4, section 3, sentence 2, it is illegal for 17-year-old black young men to wear hoodies at night. See, this is what they do. This is what they do to us. I'm so glad Derek Muhammad is my guest on next week's Underground Dialogue podcast. We're not going to let the world make us feel bad for standing up for our brother who was murdered. I don't care what shortcoming a brother or sister might have. Has nothing to do with being murdered by a racist white cop. Nothing. Nothing. No. So you say, why is he ignoring the fact that he died when nobody is putting pressure and no except the damage was done, sir. And you don't know when he died. But somebody may remember the exact amount of time because this is documented. So let me line you up real quick. Correct me if I'm wrong for somebody who may know the answer to this. His neck, he was kneeled upon for 8 minutes and some seconds. I don't know the exact amount, but it's well documented. Somebody give me that exact amount if you can. It was 8 minutes, 9 minutes and some seconds. The damage is done. You cannot be in that position with that technique being used on you for that amount of time and survive. Eventually, they're going to get up, but the damage is done. Come on, man. Y'all got to try that with somebody else. That's not going to work on your big brother. Grove Street Hustle said, my heart goes out to Philando Castile. Another great example. What y'all going to say about Philando? Y'all going to say watch the video? Because we saw that one too. We saw Philando being 1,000% compliant to the officer that pulled him over. 1,000% compliant, doing everything to what he believed was the right way to do it. I'm going to let the officer know everything that I got going on. And guess what happened to Philando? Same thing that happened to George Floyd. They just shot Philando. So America has a lot of energy, negative energy towards Black victims of police brutality and police murder. Unjust. Got a lot of energy towards the victims. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. Why do y'all hate the victim so much, but you don't hate the murderer? Answer me this. Everybody who says watch the video, because if you say watch the video, that tells me that you watched it, right? So if you watch the video, tell me, why was it even necessary for them to have him pinned on the ground that long when he's cuffed? Why haven't you just taken him off to jail? You got him. You already got him. What is the purpose of kneeling on his neck for 8 minutes and I want to say 40 something seconds? You got him. But I probably won't get an answer to that. I'm sure I won't get an answer to that. Because if I was a police officer, once I got my man, why do I have him on the ground? We got him. Let's take him on off. I'll wait till the year 2058 to get that answer. Codeine, I see you. My brother Codeine is in the building. This is a good conversation because I'm learning some stuff. I'm learning some things today. Something that Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that's coming in my head right now. All right. Tiffany Pena, I see you. Much love to you, Tiffany. I appreciate that. Shaheem says, when is it ever okay for an officer to put their, I think you mean to say knee, on a detainee's neck? What protocol is that? Ask Boba. That's what I was trying to figure out. Yeah. Connie says, I did too, K-Rino. I was shocked to see the police kill a man on the streets on TV. I wasn't. I understand where you're coming from, but I wasn't shocked. There have been many precedents before that. Not a president, a precedent. It's happened before. I go back to Rodney King. They did the same thing. This was before phones and social media. Somebody just happened to have a camera, just one of the big old school camcorders, and they caught them police officers just beating Rodney King, kicking him and beating him with the billy club and all that. They criminalized Rodney King the same way. Yeah. See, a lot of people think it's all right to kill black folks. See, this whole conversation that we're having right now, the debate, the disagreement is me saying, no, it's one side saying he was on drugs, he passed off a fake bill, he deserved to die like he died. That's the mindset. That's the mindset of certain people. My conversation is no, that had nothing to do with police officers killing him in that moment. That's not justifiable. See? So, like I said, everybody, and I'm just allegedly, everybody who's on fentanyl, by your logic, go kill them. They deserve to die. Everybody that passed off a fake dollar bill, kill them. They deserve to die. Or if they're killed, you celebrate that, or you say that's cool. See? Think about that. I I can't explain this no clearer, but let's be clear. Let's be clear. When people have a certain mindset, ain't nothing I'm saying gonna make no sense. I've already shut the argument down on 2 or 3 levels. Boba says, wonder how this would have played out if the police officers were black. You have to wonder. I'm so glad you made that comment. You have to wonder. Because here's what I'll say to that. Let's dig through history and try to find how many incidents where black officers have unjustly killed white citizens. So yeah, good wonder. You gotta wonder that. Because it don't happen a lot. Can't say it's never happened, but off the dome, show me. And I bet you we can pull 10 times off the dome where white officers have killed black people unjustly. Black officers wouldn't have did that to a white citizen, especially in broad daylight. So yeah, the key word you use is wonder, because you can only imagine. You're not going to find many instances, but yet we can pull multitudes on it being the other way around. Tell me I'm lying. If I'm lying, I'll come and sweep your driveway. Prove me wrong. And I'll come and sweep your driveway. You say this conversation wouldn't be happening. Right. It doesn't happen. You know why it doesn't happen? Because it doesn't happen. Come on, man. You walked right into that one. Open topic, y'all. Open topic, y'all. Phantom Face says, I said the same thing about the victim. What if he's not gonna be white? He's not. Black police, listen, I don't know where you're from, fam. Black police officers don't go around killing white citizens in America. It doesn't happen the way it happens with white police officers and black citizens. Now, of course, some black officers may have had to take down some white citizens behind whatever reason, but trust me, we live in America, which means that if there was a high number of black police officers killing white citizens, that would shut America down. That would be all over the news. The police officers, this thing would be turned upside down. If it happened 3 times in a row, this country would be upside down. But it doesn't happen in America, sir. So you're creating a hypothetical based on something that has no history, no precedent. That ain't how it works. Over here, the way it works is racist white cops kill black people. That's how it works in the USA. Michael Higginbottom says, because they don't believe they killed him. You're expecting your perspective from an opposite perspective. Well, I disagree with your comment. I believe that they absolutely knew. At least Derek Chauvin did. I don't know about the other officers who just stood around and just let it happen. But I believe that Derek Chauvin knew exactly what he was doing. Now, if you're saying they don't believe they killed him, talking about other citizens or other people who justify him being murdered, okay, well, that's your opinion as well. But I know Derek Chauvin knew what he was doing. He knew the technique. He was trained in the technique. Yeah. He said a question just proves your point. I don't know how. You have to have something to base. I can come up with an imaginary. I can say, man, what if a flying monkey came in here and landed on my back right here while I was having this conversation with y'all? I wonder what would happen. And most people will say, well, that never happened. That doesn't happen. That's an anomaly. That wouldn't happen. I can make up anything. Doesn't make sense, bro. Michael says, who is saying a murder is justified? We got a couple of people in here that feel that play the media game to say if a man has a past criminal record and the police officers kill him, it's okay. And even when you don't say it in those words, you are basically saying that that's how you feel, because why would you even bring that up? How are they connected? The police officers killed George Floyd. He passed off a fake bill in a store. Well, he was on drugs. Okay. So again, how does that justify him being murdered? Why bring that up after him being murdered? That's what we're talking about, Michael. Thank you for your question. Phantom Face says, just saying it's a two-way street, but he's gone. Isn't coming back. and our opinions don't matter at this point. No wait. Jason says the video is sickening. Tiffany says you speak, I listen. Big K, we behind you. Look, be behind facts and truth. See? Boba says, see what I mean? It's all about race. No. I think what's happening. No, I'm not gonna say that. I think we may be dealing with some bad understanding. Because you say it's all about race. No, it's not all about race. But if race plays a part in result, then race will be mentioned. See? And that's another thing that happens a lot in these kind of conversations when the numbers bear witness that black men are unjustly killed by white police officers at a disproportionate rate, then we say black men, white men, black officers, black, white officers, black men. It's about race. No, that don't work. That don't work on us either. If what happens is racially motivated, then race will be mentioned. That don't scare me off the block. If what happened was racially motivated, race will be mentioned because it was racially motivated. I don't like black people. I'm an officer. I could probably get away with killing a couple of them because there are others around here that think like me. My partner thinks like me. The judge thinks like me. The government thinks like me. So I can get away with this because many have. So yeah, if it's racial, then yeah, it's about race. But it's mainly about how the racial dynamic presents itself. If the murder presents itself in a racial form, yeah, it's what you're gonna hear. Yeah. Spaz says a second cousin of mine was just killed by police in bike trail behind my house. He was R. What is R? What you say a second cousin of mine? Give me a little more. Don't be scared to say what you want to say. Don't be scared to say what you want to say. Yeah. Appreciate the love, Jason. Now Boba says he's been listening to my music 15 years. And he puts the word betrayal. So think about this. He feels betrayed because I don't side with racist police officers who kill black people unjustly. In the word, in the like the great Arthur Fonzarelli would say. Think about that. Think about that. It's a mindset. This is beautiful. Connie says we can't 9 minutes and 29 seconds. I was off by a minute. I'm sorry. Connie says we can't hold our breath that long. Underrated says they always trying to twist the story and blame it on the victim when the evidence be clear as day. Yeah, well, that's why millions of people took to the streets all over the world. We've seen demonstrations after black people were unjustly murdered by police. We've seen it before, but never to the magnitude of George Floyd, because the whole world saw the murder. So if you see something totally different, think about it. What did you see? Those who agree with George Floyd being killed like that, what did you see? Oh, I forgot. He said it earlier. He said that on the video, he saw a guy overdosing. Come on, man. You saw a guy overdosing on that video? If I walked up to somebody on the street and said, hey, man, give me an explanation of what you would think in your mind what it looks like to see somebody overdosing. You're not going to say somebody laying on the ground with a knee on his neck. You're going to say somebody in their house injecting themselves with something or popping too many pills. They're overdosing. They're in the process. Come on, man. But here's the thing. When George Floyd or any other victims of police brutality are mentioned, let me teach y'all something. If the first thing that comes out of somebody's mouth is trying to bring up something from their past, that tells you how they think. If they don't say, well, what happened? Let me see the video, watch the video. If the first thing that comes to their mind is, well, he robbed a lady back in, see? Has nothing to do. Do y'all understand the connection that I'm trying to put together? You're trying to deflect to make it be all right that y'all kill that man. Just like Underrated just said. Phantom Face, I started to say that, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary. It's a blessing. You ain't listening to my music. I got songs where I talk about this type of stuff. I ain't one. Look, hey, look, I'm a nice guy. Let me make something clear to the people who don't know. I'm a nice guy. I'm a friendly guy. Ain't nothing Hollywood about me. You see me coming out the gas station. Hey, man, how you doing, man? Hey, want to take a picture? You okay? We'll take a picture. That's me. But don't ever make the mistake of thinking that I'm one of these lighthearted, go along to get along type of Negroes, black dudes. No, that ain't me. I ride for the team to the end. And I'm not going to accept nobody lying, telling no lies on George Floyd and justifying him dying and saying it's okay for him to die, or trying to deflect it to make it be all right for him to die, or no black person. Nah, y'all got the wrong one. That's when you see the side of me that you don't see. Because I don't get down like that. I'm not gonna ever in my life co-sign no injustice. I don't care how much music you listen to of me. Got the right one. But as they say to the people in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and Marines, hey, thank you for your service. Yeah, you know, I'm a different kind of dude, man. You know, I have facets to me. I'm the dog that's tied to the tree. No, I'm the dog that's sitting on the couch just sleeping. I'll be chilling. But you wake the dog up, you finna see everything that the dog got in him. Can't tell you can't, you're not gonna make me co-sign that. And then get in your feelings because you listening to my music for 15. What, you didn't listen to the right songs. Never in my life will I ever co-sign no injustice against black people. It's gonna never happen. And you don't even live in America, do you? If you feel like that and you don't live in America, you love it out here. All right, y'all. This turned into a different kind of. I guess I'm gonna have to change the title of this. This ain't an open topic no more. It still is, but you know, we stayed on this a while. Spaz says, swept it under the rug, painted him as a villain type. Shh. Absolutely. I'm still shocked the dude got 20 years, bro. That's still like something that's like, even though he should have got more than that, but I'm shocked they gave him the 20 is what I'm saying. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. That's amazing. Money in the Bank Productions is in the building. I appreciate the love. El Cappuccino said, don't forget the lady who was in her house with water. Sandra Massey. I believe that's her name. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm glad you brought that up. That's a really, really good example too, because they tried to make her be in the wrong. See, this is what I'm saying. It's like, this is why I don't feel no kind of way when people come that try to justify these things that happen to black people from police officers. There have been just outlandish and egregious incidents. It's like, what? What's the brother's name who, it hurt me to even think about this. Somebody know. One of y'all gonna know this. What's the brother's name who was sitting in his own apartment and the female cop came into his apartment? She came into the wrong apartment, so she says, and shot that man while he was sitting in a chair in his own apartment. I forgot that brother's name. But she walked in and shot that man and then said, oh, I came in the wrong apartment. I thought this was my apartment. I thought he was in. You don't know what your furniture look like? I don't care how high drunk you are. You don't know what your couches and stuff look like. The first thing that you would do if you walked into the wrong apartment for any reason, you're gonna walk in and go, whoa, oh, this ain't my place. You walk in, pull your gun, shoot the man. You know what they did to that brother? Please, somebody come with his name. God, dog it, somebody. Hold on. Please, somebody come with his name. What's his name? Yeah, that was in Dallas. Absolutely. What was his name? Please, somebody come. Please give me this brother's name. It's eating at me. It's eating at me. Okay. Anyway, when the name comes, it'll come. But you know what they did to that brother? They went into the playbook. They was getting ready to run that same play, and they couldn't find nothing, I guess, extreme enough for them in his past. So they said they found marijuana in his house. So he in his house, mind his business. Somebody comes in his house, shoots and kills him. The first thing that comes out, there was marijuana in his. See, this is the world we live in. This is the world we live in. where the victim becomes the criminal. And if the victim had once upon a time done something criminal, he deserves to die for something that's unrelated to the criminality that he might have criminalized back in the day. Come on, man. Let me go back. I ain't missing nothing. I'm not missing nothing today, y'all. And I'm not gonna stop talking about it. See, that's the difference. See, I'm not one of them, man. I told y'all I'm just a nice guy. I'm a really nice guy. I'm a beehive, bro. I am a beehive. I am a wasp nest. I am contained and confined to myself. I'm not bothering nobody. But when you shake that beehive and that wasp nest, them bees coming out, bro. I don't move like that, man. You can't put that, you can't just slide nothing in there and expect me to. I ain't one of them kind of black people, bro. Got to do some research. I ain't built like that. The people that I follow ain't built like that. We cool as a fan. Walking as much as humility as we can, but you can't pass over no madness. No, it's going down like it's going down. So no, I would not be like Morgan Freeman and stop talking about it. We're gonna talk about it. Because other black people got to see this, and white people got to see this, and Latino people got to see this, because guess what? Latino people, they get brutalized and mistreated and racially profiled by the police too. They got to see this. They got to know how to assess these types of scenarios when they happen. So when you see them get on the news and try to vilify the victim, you'll say, "Ooh, see there, they doing it." That's that play. That's that play that K-Rino was talking about. They doing it right now. That lady didn't do nothing. That man didn't do nothing. And it's funny how everybody and their mama will say, if you ask them, if you walk up to any person on the planet and say, "Hey man, do you consider yourself to be a free-thinking, independent-minded, free thinker type of person?" They're gonna say, "Yeah." So why are you saying that, Kay? I'm saying that because a lot of those same people would look exactly at what the media puts out in front of them, and they would take that and run with it like it came out of God's mouth. But you're a free thinker. But you still in 2025 can see what the media show you, and you take that and run with it. I'm gonna look at what the media show, but then I'm gonna go do my own little digging and checking to make sure that the media ain't doing media things. How many times have police officers done something unjust? How many times have they killed somebody? How many times have they beat up somebody and done something like, which is their MO to do, and then conduct what they call an internal investigation, and then they conclude in the internal investigation that there was no wrongdoing? We investigated ourselves and we determined that we didn't do nothing wrong. How many times have we seen that? Come on, man. Come on, man. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all, Phantom Face, you right. Let's talk about some other stuff, man. But but look, hey man, I'm gonna line you up, bro. If you come at me with some nonsense, I gotta line you up. I can't let the truth just get a blanket. You can't put a blanket over the truth like that in front of me like that, man. I'm sorry. Okay. Tanya Hamill, I see you. Tanya says K is not bringing. Now look at me. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna quit bringing it up. Then I'll turn right back around and go. Tanya Hamill said K is not bringing race into it. Race is in it already. It was in it from day one. You telling the wrong. It's not my fault no more. People are still bringing it up now. So look, don't blame me. I'm sorry, Phantom Faith. I'm sorry, man. Your big brother, I apologize to you. Your big brother apologized to you. But the same people who always say, don't bring up race, don't make it about race, they the ones who made it about race in the first place. You telling that to the wrong people. Tell your white police officer friends to stop hating black people. And then race won't be an issue. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about it. I'm gonna stop talking about it. Regional Sky Girl says, Brother K-Rino, you have alphabet letter organizations in your chat tonight, and they're gonna get this work. They're gonna get this work, sis. I'm sorry, but I'm tired. They're gonna get this work. Because this happens too much. This happens too much, man. And although I understand, again, I understand the mindset. I get it. I totally get it. I know the nature that this comes from. And sometimes it's best to just let that be. But I'm sorry, this ain't one of them days that I'm going to let it ride. I mean, I didn't come on here for that, but no. Y'all not going to keep on making it all right to kill black people. Y'all not going to keep making it be all right. Y'all not finna make that be all right. Y'all got the wrong one. Boba says, we are all human race, not race. You say we are the human race, not colors. We are the human race. But there are members of the human race who absolutely see color and they have a problem with certain colors. So once again, the line that you're presenting to me, you present that to the wrong person. I ain't never killed no white person. I ain't never kneeled on nobody's neck for 8 minutes or 9 minutes or whatever the time was. Never did it. Yeah. Connie says maybe he's blind and someone told him what they saw. No, he saw it because he keeps saying, watch the video. He saw it. But he's created another visual of what his eyes saw, because he also said that he saw George Floyd overdosing while he was on the ground. You said also, I saw a murder by a cop killing a black man on the streets in broad daylight. That's what I saw. That's what millions of other people saw too, Connie. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm too far down. I ain't gonna talk about it no more unless I see the right comment. Jonah says that shows away in pent up misery. Dollar, what's going on? I see you. My brother Dollar Bill is in the building. Michael says, I prefer to hear your perspective on what kind of leaders we need in our society and examples we should be lifting up in place of who we currently glorify. Um, yeah, we got all that, bro. We got all that. You got to keep listening to music I've been making for 40 plus years. But if you listen to what the music that I do make, you know who my leader is. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the best example we got walking on this planet as far as leadership. Leadership for all men, if we would but listen. And the other word you use, examples. The best example. The best example of leadership. The best example of speaking truth to power. The best example of self-correction and um, imposing on us the urgency of our own self-correction. That's Minister Farrakhan. So, yeah, I like your comment. I like your post because we're not looking for leadership anywhere in government. Those who are in designated positions of leadership, so-called leadership, they've been bad examples of leadership. Would you agree with that? Modern retro guy says we talking about George Floyd. Same thing happened to a white dude by cops in 2016. No one said a word. Okay, give me some backstory on that. Who killed him? Was it black cops? Was it white cops? Was justice swift? What happened to the cops that killed him? And when see, it always um, baffles me, but not baffles me. It always amazes me when people bring up um, rare instances where these things may have happened to a white citizen is by a black cop. Now, of course, white cops kill white citizens. It's more white people in the country. But when you talk about rate, at the rate that it happens based on percentage of population, then that's a different conversation. All right, all right. I'm through, y'all. Maybe. Yeah. Baller Die says where a lot of people mess up is with the idea that race and other touchy topics can't be discussed without conflict. Well, and that's the thing, because I agree with what you're saying. See, race becomes a touchy topic when you're having those types of conversations with people who either have a lack of understanding about the racial dynamic that exists in America, in the world, but particularly in America, or you have people who fully understand it, but they want to, they lean towards a white supremacist mind. See? So, or they don't want to relinquish what benefits have come to them from being a member of the race that has used their power in the wrong way. So those conversations do become touchy and they turn into uh, reverse psychology type scenarios where people would use the word reverse racism. Oh, you're the race. No, don't try that. Mm-mm. Because when history proves who you are, you'll be a fool to argue with that. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, it gets touchy when the truth of what racism is and who's the catalyst, it gets touchy when that truth is revealed and exposed. That's when it gets touchy. Unless you're having that conversation with somebody who can have that conversation and they can stand and okay, there are white people who acknowledge the injustices of their people. They'll say straight up, yeah. Because you know why? Because they have the history. Can't argue with something that's right in your face. Well, I mean, well, yes, you can. I guess these days people will. Yeah. No, I wouldn't do that. All right, y'all. Let me see. Got a few more minutes. Got a few more minutes. I don't want y'all to be upset. Don't be upset with Boba. Don't be upset with him. He's revealing his mind. Can't be mad. We just don't agree. I haven't. I don't feel any. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't feel any. I don't have any spikes in my emotions during this conversation. I don't have any. I'm not having any emotional spikes. You come into the understanding and go, okay, well, oh, that okay. He thinks like that. He's one of those individuals who thinks like that. And then you deal with that. You deal with that however you deal with it, whether you deal with it the way I dealt with it, or whether you just say, okay, well, I'm not gonna worry about that. Whatever you choose, but no, I ain't mad. That's like being mad at Trump. You might not like what he does and on certain moves, you might say, man, that was crazy. But if you understand, I'm speaking on a bigger scale now, if you understand his purpose, you're not mad. You go, okay, well, you know what? As insane as this looks, when the smoke clears, it'll all be for the better. Not that his moves will make it better, but in a way, his moves will make it better because the destruction got to come. I hope y'all kind of understand where I'm coming from, man. Hope y'all understand where I'm coming from. All right. Anyway, man, so look, subscribe to the Underground Dialogue podcast. Y'all are going to really love next week's episode. We have, oh, my bad, I wasn't typing. We have my good friend, my brother, Derek Muhammad. He will be our guest next week. So, I mean, put on your seatbelt for that one. I need to start promoting our episodes before they come out long before they come out instead of like the day of or the day before. I need to start promoting more in advance, maybe to reach more people. Veldissimo, is that right? I see you. Taurus D. Johnson, I see you. Oh my. Hey, look, this happens from time to time. And look, everything in life ain't gonna be a kumbaya moment. It's not gonna be like that, y'all. Sometimes, man, sometimes stuff gonna come up where we gotta bang it on out. And this ain't even nothing major. I mean, I'm not acting like, you know. Regional Sky Girl says, raise your hand if you're tired of Boba. Oh my gosh. Let's talk about the Million Man March. Let's talk about the Million Man March. Because you know what, sis? People had problems with the Million Man March. That's why what I said the other day, I spoke on it more in length, how the media tried to suppress its impact still to this day, because you have a whole generation. You got to think the Million Man March happened in 1995. It happened 30 years ago. Now, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. The March on Washington was in 1963. Is that correct? Is that historically and factually correct? 1963. Somebody put it up real fast. The March on Washington took place in 1963. If you fast forward from 1963, if that's the right year, 30 years from that is 1993, right? Now think about this. I wasn't born in 1963. I had at least 7 more years to go before I was born, from 1963. I'm saying all this to say that by the time 30 years had passed from the March on Washington, a whole nother generation of people have been born and was grown. I was a grown man in 1993. But the difference is the March on Washington was one of those events that was allowed to be implemented into our educational curriculum, if you will. So we were allowed to read about that, to know about that. That's not the case with the Million Man March. A whole generation has been born. It's people that were not born October. If you were born October the 20th, 1995, that means you were not born when the Million Man March took place, and you're gonna be 30 years old tomorrow. You may have a wife, children, and a house, but you were not born during the Million Man March. And for a lot of Black people and people in general, that history has been hidden. Some people don't even know about the Million Man March. Which was, with no disrespect, I don't want nobody to see this and be mad, because I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. There's people in this chat that know me. I see my homie Michael is in here, Michael Butte. We was together last night. There's people in here that know me. I mean no disrespect when I say this, but as great as the March on Washington was, it wasn't greater than the Million Man March. It just has received more press because the impactful nature and the information and the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding that was given by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan during the Million Man March is a threat to the powers that be. You got almost 2 million black dudes making a pledge to be better for their community, better towards their women, better this, better that, better everything. They saw all them brothers out there, nobody fighting, didn't nobody get killed that day. From all different places, all different walks of life. I'm sure it was some killers at the Million Man March. Sure, some dope dealers at the Million Man March. Might have been a few pimps that came to the Million Man March. It was doctors at the Million Man, lawyers at the Million Man March, politicians, athletes, rappers, tap dancers, singers, all walks of life. Christians, Muslims, Pan-Africanists, Catholics, Jews. Not one incident. You know what that tells me? Even if I wasn't what I ain't now, I'm far from being the smartest, wisest dude you're gonna ever come across. But I could be a babbling idiot. And I could look at that knowing black people the way I know black people, and I would be like, man, this is a miracle. That doesn't get taken into account enough. Like, this is a miracle. So if it is a so-called miracle, who signed off on the miracle? Who signed off on it? Who caused and or allowed this event to take place with all of those brothers out there and for nothing but peace and love and unity to happen? We'll say all praise is due to Allah. Some people say, all right, man, to God be the glory. Others will say, man, that evil man, that racist evil man, Minister Farrakhan, he's an evil, hateful, racist man. He's an evil, hateful, racist man who God co-signed a miracle on and brought out something that was so beautiful, so good out of an evil, hateful, racist man. I said this Friday. Pac Dillon says, who inspired you to rap? There's a few people, man. You got the Sugar Hill Gang, might have been the first. Sugar Hill Gang, Curtis Blow might have been the first rappers that I heard like on the radio. First rap record I memorized all the way through was Rapper's Delight by Sugar Hill Gang, and that was in 1979. But my inspirations got stacked on once people like Run DMC came along, and people like Run and Grandmaster Flash, Melly Mel and Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. These are people who preceded my rap career. Now, once I started, then there was people who added on to that. Like when I heard LL Cool J and Rakim and Run DMC, KRS-One, and they added on to my motivation. But the ones who really just started me out, like I say, Sugar Hill Gang, man. Terrence, I thought you asked me that the other night about the food stamps. I'll say it again. Basically, I don't know enough about the shutdown. I do know that from what I was told that a lot of it is kind of going to affect the benefits of citizens, like food stamps, like Social Security, and things of that nature. So if that is the case, then yeah, it's going to be, it could potentially be tight for some people. So, but like I said when you asked me this Friday, man, you know, that's why we gotta do for ourselves and store food in our houses, man. So we won't have to depend on a failing government. If your dependence is on a failing government, when that government fails, where are you left? Unfadable says, I had an uncle who is a Muslim that participated in the Million Man March in DC back in '95. I was 4. I might have saw your uncle out of 2 million people almost. I might have saw your uncle. I told him, I said, man, I'm gonna be chatting with your nephew 30 years from now on YouTube. YouTube didn't even exist. All right, y'all. Let me see. Connie says, yes, it was a miracle. You know, it was a miracle by our standards, our eyes. That's why I put miracle in air quotes, because in God's eyes, is no such thing as a miracle. And a man with the great, great, great faith of Minister Farrakhan is not a miracle, because he believes in the power of God to such a degree that he stepped out on faith. I remember when the minister was talking about the Million Man March, when he was first starting to speak on it before it was even organized. And he said, as he was speaking on putting the march together, he said the word million just came out of his mouth. He said it just came out like million, like I couldn't bring it back. It's like, so, because who starts off with that number? Man, look, we had a show last night. Wasn't a lot of people there, but the point I'm making is, you may organize something like a show. You may organize a dinner, or whatever you put together, family reunion, and you will have a projection of how many people. Man, you know, we looking at, we want to get about 200 people to come to the event. You know, those numbers are small. This man said 1 million before he could even blink. And God didn't just bless him with the million, he almost doubled the million. And we was talking about media earlier, because some people don't believe that the media is dirty. And I think that's what one of our biggest problems is. A lot of people don't think that the media is dirty. We think that if it's on TV, and the media these days includes social media, if it's on TV or on the internet, it's true. But if one day, I got some stuff, man, but it's in boxes, bro. And it would be a hard thing to find. But one day I'm gonna do it for y'all, and I'm gonna go through these boxes, and I'm gonna find a newspaper that I bought when I set foot, when I touched down back in Houston after coming from the Million Man March. Somehow there was a newspaper stand, and the first thing they was covering the Million Man March. It was on the front page of the newspaper, the Houston Chronicle, and it had the picture of the Million Man March that everybody's familiar with. It's showing the mall from where the steps was all the way back to the Washington Monument, and it had 400,000. The number that they credited as showing up to the Million Man March was 400,000, and I just busted out laughing and bought the paper. The media don't lie. Ricky Runyon said it was tougher when I was younger because I cared about it and it made me nervous. At my age and experience now, I honestly do judge on character solely automatically. I don't care. You make your life. Okay. JFK, says Tanya, JFK initially opposed the march, but relented after meeting with leaders of the march. That's the March on Washington. Okay. Man. Yep. Wonder Mike, Big Bank Hank, Master G, and Miss Sylvia Robinson. That's right. Sugar Hill Records. I still remember the little logo with the little colorful little thing on it. I know that label anyway. You wouldn't even have to put the name. If you just show me that logo, that label, I'm like, that's Sugar Hill. But you know, Unfadable, it's not that we need a new movement. The problem has been that we don't, and I'm including us all, myself included, we don't follow the principles of the current and past movements. That's all we got to do. It's not that we need something new to come along. We just got to adhere to the great right principles of the old, and we'll be fine. We've already exhibited so many examples of what our freedom would look like, what our unity would generate. But we fall off, or we get infiltrated, or we get destroyed by racist white America. See? I'm speaking history. Ain't nothing racist. I'm speaking here. Find me to be lying. See, this is the problem where people can't separate emotion from the truth. The truth might hurt. The truth might make you emotional, but you can't let your emotions make you just deny the truth. So if I lie, then you can say, man, that's a lie. But if you find out that what I said is the truth, then what you gonna do? I say this all the time when I have discussions or disagreements with people, whether it be online, whether it be in person, whether I'm arguing with people on the phone, whatever it is, I say the same thing. I say, okay, if you find that what we've said is true, you've adamantly opposed and adamant. If you find what we said to be the truth, will you humble yourself and say, man, my bad? A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people won't do it. You ever had a homeboy, a friend, cousin, family member, significant other that argued you down about something, and they found out that what you were saying was the 100% true, and they couldn't even bring themselves to say, "Oh man, I apologize. Yeah, you was right. You was absolutely right." Everybody ain't got that in them. Take a different type of person to have that kind of spirit. Short Bus says President K said, "You don't work, you don't eat." I instantly got up and started hustling after that back in 2011. Man, God bless you, bro. Short Bus. Unfadable says, "You got to be an independent investigative journalist just to find out the truth in each time." Yeah, because the media has always been controlled. Now it's controlled and in some cases bullied. Hey man, dude, can we get 16 more likes before I go? I know I've been running my mouth, man, but if we can get 16 more likes, let's everybody who haven't hit the like button, if y'all in here, let's get 15 more likes, man. If you haven't clicked the like button, click the thumbs up button for your big brother. Yeah. Boba says, "K, you really remind me of Dave Chappelle conspiracy skits now." Well, let me ask a question to our distinguished group of chat members. How many of you in here right now think or believe or feel that, and be honest, if you believe that the things that I have said are conspiracy skits or theories like Boba is saying, if you believe I'm on some conspiracy, Dave Chappelle conspiracy skit crap, say yes. If you believe that I'm not and I'm speaking some real stuff humbly, say no. That's all I want to know. I want to see what the general consensus is. Because I know I haven't said anything conspiracy theory. I probably have spoken on conspiratorial things because conspiracy is a real thing. Conspiracy, when somebody has conspired and conspiracies have been carried out, that's real. A theory is just a theory. It's a difference. So I want to see what the people think. Because, which I'm not going to do, I don't have time to do that. But if I reversed that question on you, because this chat is up, I can scroll back and see the things you said. Who sounds more conspiracy theory, me or you? If the people had to decide, if the people had to judge. See? Man, Phantom Face says, "I put almost 1,000 miles on one of my convertibles driving all over the Midwest." Man, he was in that thing top down the whole time. Veldissimo, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the donation, my brother. Thank you so much, man. Let me say something too to when people come in and they drop a super chat. I appreciate y'all because people on here like I'm calling out some of my OGs right now. Phantom Face, Dollar Bill, Short Bus. Y'all have never, ever seen me get on YouTube and ask y'all to donate super chats. I never ever have asked y'all for money like, hey man, come on, let's get them super chats rolling. Come on, y'all. I ain't never done that. And I got witnesses in here. So I'm appreciative if somebody dropped $5, $2, 99 cents, or what my brother Veldisimo just dropped. So I appreciate that. I don't get on here for try to, push to get no money out of y'all. If I'm promoting a project, hey man, yeah, the project is out. Yeah, that's how I get down. But just want to let y'all know where this 10 cent or $200. I appreciate it all, man. So let me read your comment. It said, we love you, Killer K. You've gotten me through so many hard times. God got you through them hard times, fam. Whatever he used me to say to help, all praise due to one law. Get a credit to him, not me. Anything, if it's good, get a credit to God. Straight up. Thank you, brother. I'm just saying, man. Just saying, man. Man. Just trying to see if I'm crazy. I know I'm kind of crazy though. I'm a little crazy. I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of crazy, just a little bit. I ain't crazy, too crazy, but I'm kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie. But in this particular situation, I think I'm all right. Johnny Ray Maceda. What's going on, Johnny Ray? I've been working a lot, K. Haven't been around. What's up with the album? You ain't late. Next month. Well, if y'all got a problem with me now, wait till this album come out. Ooh, woo. Playtime is over. Boss Lady, I see you in the building. Boss Lady was in the building last night. Michael Butte was there. Boss Lady was there. Appreciate y'all. My boy Jimmy is in here. Alabama Jimmy. Halls of Amenti. Appreciate the love. Modern Retro guy said, not tonight. Maybe another night, huh? But not tonight, huh? What's up, 3? Is that 3 old visual? Loey Green. Say, I love the jury. I love jury. Salute. Appreciate y'all, man. Skylar, what's going on? I appreciate the love. Said this man knowledge is from Master Father Muhammad and life experiences. Shh. I'm trying, man. Much love to all. Derek Christian, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your donation as well, Derek Christian. Let me show you some love and read your comments. Say, is that shout out? What do SO mean? I want to make sure. I don't know if it say, I am saved by Christ Jesus, and now I'm rapping consciousness again on some early Jedi mind tricks lyrics and Dynasty. Yourself, Ghost Dios. How much for a feature? I'm John the Baptist and Tesla from past lives. I'm God's son. Man, you know what? If somebody is on some consciousness and they rapping like Jedi mind tricks and the dudes you just mentioned, whoo, that's gonna be some hard consciousness, boy. That's gonna be some strong conscious rap right there, man. I just put my email address in the chat, Derek. So send me an email and we'll discuss the feature. I work with independents. I show love, so I'll make it easy for you. I'm not gonna charge you $10 million for a verse. Only 9 million. No, I'm just playing. Yeah. We need 2 more likes, y'all, and I can get y'all out of here. If y'all haven't watched the latest episode of Underground Dialogue Podcast with PSK 13, please go check it out, man. I pushed this channel and I pushed our podcast for a couple of reasons. Thank y'all. Y'all came with them 2 likes fast. I do that because I really, really want to make our platform a space where people who don't necessarily gravitate towards the mess and the controversy, our platform can be that space. I'm not telling you to not go watch the messy stuff, the controversial stuff. I go watch it from time to time. But there are just some people in the world that like, man, I don't want to hear all that. I want to get some information. I want to get some knowledge. And there are a lot of other people who view knowledge and information and consciousness and important topics or non-messy interviews. Because it ain't always about just a bunch of knowledge. It's just people look at that as being boring. Like, but in reality, it's like there are people who want just, they don't want that other stuff. So we're trying to make our platform that kind of place. Okay. Man, we got over 100 likes. All right. Spaz One Music. Well, y'all got my email address, man. Jamal Henderson, what's up? I see you, my brother. Hey, look, drop y'all locations. Let me shout y'all out. I've been on here too long. Let me shout y'all out, man. Give me y'all locations, man, so I can show you some love. Oh, crap. Hold on, Money in the Bank. I was just getting ready to read your comment. Tanya says, I don't believe a degree makes you any better, but Boba keeps calling folks uneducated. We can have a discussion one day about what is the definition of education. Of course, there's more than one answer to that. All right. All right, let me drop y'all location. Let me shout y'all locations out real quick. I'm leaning into the camera like an old blind man, bro. One D33. Oh man, no, it's all love, my brother. Good to see you, man. B2M, good to see you. Do I like the Wu-Tang Clan? Yeah, I love the Wu-Tang Clan. I never met nobody that didn't like the Wu-Tang Clan. Fly Crippin, I see you. Okay, let's go. Erica Mendez is in Beaumont. The Original Boss Lady is in H-Town. Veldissimo is in Minneapolis, the home of the greatest artist of all time, Prince. Halls of Amenti, 81, Denver, Colorado. Phantom Face, you already know, the 614. Short Bus is in Omaha, Nebraska. The home of Terrence, he say Terrence Crawford and Malcolm X land. Yeah, man, boy, y'all put out some great ones, huh? Balladar says the podcast of these open topics are God sends for the early morning. Man, thank you, bro. Appreciate that. Sit up before I get another crook in my neck. B2M, Kansas City. Connie Harge is in 619. That's the San Diego, California area code. My brother Jimmy Robinson is in The great city of Anniston, Alabama. How far are you from Beaumont? I'm not Beaumont, from Birmingham. I think I asked you that before. My homie Michael Butte made the drive all the way down from Beaumont last night and came and rocked out with us. God's Dummy is from Lufkin. You know, I used to live in Lufkin back in the days. Unfadable resilience. I appreciate the love, appreciate the donation, my brother. I thank you so much, man, for becoming one of the OGs and regulars. You coming up. I'm starting to see your name every time I jump on. I appreciate the super chat, family. Blessings to you. Kendrick Miller, Huntsville, Alabama. We got Anniston, Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama. The homie Vincent, we already know, is in Hawaii. Johnny Ray, Port Lavaca. Port Lavaca, Texas in the building. Money in the Bank says, we just have wish all people the best, good or bad. Yeah, no question about it. Freedom, justice, and equality is for all people. But you have people who feel like they have the power to determine who gets freedom, justice, and equality. Yeah. Fly Crippen, Christchurch City. Veldisimo says, I done seen dropout millionaires and homeless scholars. Who said that? Code Dean. Hold on, Dean, wait a minute. You moved? Code Dean, you moved? You live in North Carolina now? Or you just happen to be in North Carolina? 'Cause I know you be moving around. Phantom Face says, I'll never allow education to get in the way of my intelligence. All information is subject to change, so nothing is for certain. Unfadable is in the Mile High City, Denver, Colorado. Station, you in the service or you just use that terminology? Young, rugged, and raw. Yeah. Money in the Bank, Dirty Bay, home of RMG, College Boys, my music brothers. Okay. Tanya says intelligence doesn't require a traditional method of schooling, but still require learning. Come on, that's right. You can go to the school of hard knocks. Is this YT Sensors Grift? Appreciate the donation, my brother. Respect to you. ATX, man, one of my favorite places in the world is Austin, Texas, man. Thank you so much. I want everybody, if y'all will, man, send me an email. That's my email address, and I'll put y'all on the contact list. Any shows we got coming in y'all city, any new projects we dropping. We got the new comic book, The Annihilation of the Evil Machine comic book dropping this month, real soon, or next month. So all that, man. Y'all want to be on the contact list. I'm not a heavy spammer. You ain't gonna be getting stuff from me all the time. That's why people say, man, I ain't getting on no. I don't want to be just getting. Nah, I ain't doing all that. I do this manually, so you ain't gonna just be getting stuff. You're only gonna get it when it's coming. Tanya says, do you do these on a schedule? Every Friday, I pretty much do one every Friday, unless I got a show or just somehow I'm out of pocket. But anything other than a Friday is random. Today was random, but it could rarely through the week. I don't know if I've ever done a live stream through the week that I can. I'm sure I probably have, but mostly on the weekends. But it could happen at any time. I grew up. I had moments where I grew up in Lufkin. God's dummy. My stepfather was from Lufkin. So when my mom, my stepdaddy married, we would go to Lufkin a lot. I've been up and down Lufkin. I've been through Lufkin a bunch of times. Growing up, back and forth with my mom, my stepdad, and then even ended up doing like shows out there, you know. So I've been to Lufkin more times than I can count. Yeah. The Panthers, you a Panthers fan, Dean? I didn't know that. Man, what they doing? I ain't been paying attention to them. Repetition is the father. Repetition is the mother of all learning. Yep, that's right. That's how we learned our ABCs. Somebody put a melody behind them and made you keep singing it. All right, y'all. Make sure I don't miss nobody. I feel like I missed somebody else. I did. Unfadable. Oh, okay, that was unfadable. I appreciate you, unfadable. I got you. I thought I missed you. You know, I'm gonna show love. All right, y'all. It's your big brother K-Rino. I will catch y'all later on. God bless to y'all, man. Stay focused. Peace and love.